I'd love a coffee if you could.
Yeah, when you give it.
Yes, please. A strong cappuccino, perhaps?
Same. Strong cappuccino. No sugar.
Thank you.
You've done many already.
No, you're number
To keep the
4.
caffeine level, you know. We're only starting.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I had to have a few cups of tea before I started.
Yeah, we're still fresh and enthusiastic.
Okay, great.
You're lucky. You got in at the right time.
Just in time. Okay, great. So I absolutely love the film myself, and I've been recommending it to lots of people.
Excellent.
But for someone that had never heard of it, how would you kind of sum up what the film's about and what it is to you?
It's about friendship. It's about human emotions, and it's sort of a road movie, really. Discovering oneself, developing as a person. Yeah. Is that all right for you? There you go.
Yeah, I mean,
Brilliant, Mackenzie.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
It's got a lot more to it than just like the sort of black comedy aspect. It's quite sort of sentimental film. So, you know, did that sort of was that what attracted you to the roles and the script?
Well, it was a script. You know, very rarely you get a script. I think Mackenzie would agree. We read a lot of scripts, as actors, and very rarely do you get a script that's as well written and as entertaining to read as this one was. I mean, the premise is very simple. You get it right away. It's a page turner. You want to know what happens next. You're laughing out loud while you're reading it. That's very, very rare to find that. So I think that's what the attraction for actors for us was with the script. And also, it's a film that makes you laugh, makes you cry. It's again very rare to find that combination and so beautifully and sensitively put together like that. That it's like 1 minute you are like literally kind of hysterically laughing about sort of the idiocy of these relationships, and the next moment you're really moved by something. I mean, genuinely kind of that there's genuine emotion there. So it's rare in that sense.
And it's surprising as well, they didn't go for the obvious. I remember when I first read the script and the premise becomes obvious in the first sort of 5 pages, and I went then and wrote down a list of what I thought would probably happen in the script, and none of those things I wrote down came true. They didn't go for the obvious, which
that's
is
why you're not a writer.
Yeah. I would have done the obvious version.
Okay, and your role, Mackenzie, is that you're like this writer, wannabe writer, and stuck in a sort of job that you don't want to be doing. How much could you relate to that from your like early sort of days trying to get into acting and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's anyone who chooses a creative path, there's a lot of a good few years of sort of poverty and frustration ahead of them before they either make it or don't. So yeah, I mean, I was on the comedy circuit for a long time, doing weird, horrible, smoky venues before I made it into proper acting. So yeah, I can relate to that.
And you got to bed the Bond girl before Bond did. What was your first sort of major sex scene like in a film?
It was terrifying.
He was terrified.
I mean, trying to put a professional face on it, and it's just acting. Of course, it's just acting, but I don't know. It's a very sensitive sort of thing to do, and yeah. But of course, ultimately, once it was all over, I realised there was no need to be terrified. We're actors and professionals.
I heard you had a bit of an injury as well, which probably didn't help. How did that come about?
I was in rehearsals for a scene when I'm slammed over a sort of a railing over a bridge in the Lake District, and my padding had ridden up, and the stunt coordinator slammed me down, and yeah, something gave way within me, but it was painful, but it didn't stop me.
Was that early on in the filming, or?
It was pretty much the first week, I think. Those scenes up in the Lake District.
Okay, and Colin, you're obviously famous for your roles in Star Trek. I'm wondering if you still get sort of mobbed by Trekkies, and if Mackenzie's maybe one of them.
He kind of looks like a Trekkie, but no. Well, yeah. I mean, it's still, it's almost 10 years since we finished that series, so it's been a long time ago. But it's still obviously out there doing the rounds and that, And yeah, I mean, you see a lot of. At least I'd say probably 50% of the people who say they like what you do are talking about Star Trek. So it's ongoing.
Did you get to drive a train, and how much research did you have to do with all of that?
Yeah, I had to drive a train in King's Cross Station and East Finchley Station, and they put aside as half an hour to train me up to drive it, and it's a very simple process to drive a tube train, but rightly so, because it's fully laden. These trains hold 1,000 people, so that's quite a responsibility on these drivers' shoulders. So they can't have a massively complicated job to do there. So yeah, and I mean, there's lots of safety issues that I obviously didn't have to go through. I was just moving it forward. So yeah, I didn't have to go on a week-long course or anything, but it was a great thrill to drive a tube train. I enjoyed it.
And obviously you're famous for your role as Gareth. And you got quite a few of those kind of roles before as well. You said, I read somewhere you always got sort of put into almost druggy roles and stuff. Do you feel like you were pigeonholed, and how did you break free of that?
No, I mean, I've never really complained that I'm pigeonholed. Yeah, I got sort of very sort of quirky, sort of comic character roles, and choosing this movie was sort of a conscious attempt to do something with a little bit more meaty, and to play a lead role in a movie. So yeah, I mean, I've got no complaints.
But it's always kind of cyclical, that too, isn't it? That you get, you'll be playing train drivers now for the next few years.
Yeah. Excellent. I think that's all I've got time for. Went very quickly.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.